Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Girl from Schenectady podcast. I'm your amazing host, Odunayo Magic Kodumi, aka Ayo Magic, the girl from Schenectady. Happy holidays, guys. Hope you're having an amazing start to this wonderful holiday season. I am excited about today's episode because I have this amazing guy with me here today, and we're going to have a fantastic discussion. But before I introduce him, let me tell you a little bit more about his background. Born to immigrant parents, ABAI grew up at the crossroads of three worlds: Ethiopia, Liberia, and the melting pot of Miami, Florida. Now living in Los Angeles, he has built a career that blends relentless passions with an eye for storytelling. Initially starting as a music video director, he has made his way into filmmaking, producing and directing over 10 films, 2 pilots, and many websites. His journey also took him behind the scenes on significant projects where he worked for networks such as Paramount, Amazon Prime, and Netflix. No matter how deep the ditch you start in, with love, presence, and faith in God, a dream is all you need. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Mr. ABAI Peace. Hello, sir. How are you?
Hey, Ayo, how you doing? I'm chilling.
You're chilling? Yeah?
That was a good introduction.
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a good introduction. You're welcome. So I'm going to go a little deeper, and I'm going to give you some flowers. I noticed things, and I noticed something about you. You're a very consistent, you're very punctual. Everything you do with excellence. Now, I know I just met you. I don't know that much about you, but I think I'm a good judge of character. And when I set up this, podcast, I knew you were going to be here early. You were earlier. You're the first guest I've had that I think that showed up earlier to this than the time, right? And on top of that, we're part of the 3A's, African Artists Association.
Yeah.
I haven't been consistently at every meeting, but the ones that I do show up to, you and your beautiful wife, always show up, and you guys are punctual. I noticed that.
Yes.
Yeah. So to me, that tells me how professional you are. And on top of that, you're full of humility. You do so much stuff that I didn't even know how much you did, and you don't brag about it. I know you've talked about a few things you've done to me before, but when I went back and looked and did some research, I was like, wow. I was so impressed by your resume. Yeah. And I just love your humility. I love it that you come to 3A's meeting, you're just chilling, you and Paris, your wonderful wife who's here too. And you guys just do your thing, and I just love that. And that's why you're successful, in my opinion. That's why you're going to go far. You're professional. You show up on time. You do what you need to do, So yeah, I just had to tell you that.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Good. Yeah.
It's good when people notice that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I notice because I work with people, and I've been through stuff with actors and and I've been working with actors, and I've been going through some experiences, so I think it's making me more aware of people. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So bravo, sir. Keep up that good work. I love it. You're welcome. So I always start with a quote. Okay. And I found this quote, and I wanted to get your opinion about it. Okay. I think this is a good one. We won't be distracted by comparison if we're captivated with purpose, by Bob Goff. What do you think he means by that?
He means stop looking at Instagram and get the work done. That's what he means.
Yes.
To me, that means you can be distracted by even comparing yourself or other people comparing you. If you just focus on your purpose, you focus on what you're meant to be doing.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
don't have time to be thinking about anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's that simple. Yeah. And I think, we obviously hear this a lot, that people are always looking on Instagram and people, but the truth is, and I hear this, I've been listening to one of my previous pastors. He talks about all the time, people never post the bad things they're going through. I mean, some people maybe might post some bad things they go through, but for the most part, everybody's posting the shininess of their lives.
It's a highlight reel.
The highlights, right? Yeah. They don't post that their car got repossessed. They don't post, that, I don't know, they got fired. For the most part, people don't post the bad stuff, And I think it's just interesting that we tend to just always see the shininess of what people are doing and think, oh, everybody's life is better than mine, and everybody's one up on me. Everybody's doing better, and I'm slacking or I'm behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Instagram can have you. You know, you can be living in, what is it, like Malibu?
Yeah.
With ocean views. Yeah. And stroll on Instagram, and all of a sudden get depressed from what other people was doing.
Yeah.
What other people were doing.
Exactly.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you compare yourself like, oh man, I'm sitting at home doing nothing, and they're, filming because we're in the industry. Oh, they're filming, and you're like, it's like, so. Yeah. You have the ocean view. Like, what are you mad for?
Exactly.
But it's part of what that quote is that you just read. So that's pretty,
I agree with you. And then I love the part where it says, we won't be distracted by comparison if we're captivated with purpose. We're supposed to be so engulfed in our purpose that we're not focused on what other people are doing.
Exactly.
And that's my life. Like, that's what I'm doing. Every day that I wake up, I focus on my purpose. I'm like, okay, God, what am I going to do to maximize my purpose today? What can I do to maximize my day? How can I use this day to the full potential that it is, and I think because I focus on that every day, it helps me stay focused, for one, but I don't have time to like compare myself to other people.
And also being distracted by comparison can also lead you to not working on your purpose.
Yes.
You can be you can be like, oh, you're comparing yourself to a live streamer or a Twitch streamer, and now you're Twitch streaming, you're not even supposed to be Twitch streaming. You're like, why is not working for me? It's because you're not supposed to be doing it. So it can cause you to just wander down the wrong path.
Exactly. Exactly. Listen, sir, this is going to be a great conversation. Starting up so well already. That was good, right?
Yeah, that was good.
That was a good one. See, people usually
what was the name of the guy who did that one?
Bob Goff, Goff.
Bob Golf?
Golf, Goff. Yeah. I have to Google who he is. I don't know who that is. Bob Golf.
It's a deep quote.
Yeah, it's deep. Yeah. Well, I'm into quotes. I love quotes. Yeah, I love quotes so much. They just kind of move me through life, and I'm always like dissecting them. Like, interesting. So I just think I love, starting with that. So we have some great topics we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
And I guess I'm kind of a deep thinker sometimes because. Like I and a lot of these questions, because people would say, how did she come up with these questions? I'm like, because I'm always doing things, and then I come up with the questions based on like my life experiences. And the first question I'm gonna read to you.
Wait, before you get into the question, I just want to say thank you for having me on the podcast.
Oh my goodness, you're welcome. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I also want to say thank you for just being so joyful. Even if you're going through something, I don't know. You're just, you bring light to the room. And you know what I'm saying? You make people smile with your joy. And, I see that. And I know a lot of people see that. And you getting work done. So thank you.
I know he's your boo, but I love everyone. Love. I love both of you. His wife is right here, guys. So just so you know, if you're like, who am I? Like, thank you for saying that. I'm not gonna cry. Okay. I know I'm so emotional, but I appreciate that. I get that often, but still sometimes I don't know. It's nice to hear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna catch my breath. So I'm gonna read the first question I want to ask you, and then I'll tell you, like, after you answer it, why this came to me. As artists, we are often anxious to get to the next big thing in our lives. Meanwhile, we miss the importance of the moments we're currently in. Similar to the book, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, he states we have so much power in the present moment of our lives. Do you agree or disagree with this?
I agree with it.
Yeah?
Yeah,
okay.
100%.
Yeah?
Why I agree with it? Because we're living in the now.
Yes.
First of all, I never read the book.
Okay,
so let me just get that out.
I read it a long time ago. I got to read it again, but I barely remember it.
But I talk to my wife about this all the time.
Yeah.
And we both talk about it. Like, her mom bought us a book. Just like it's called Shut Up and Shoot.
Oh,
and
that sounds interesting.
And it's about like just doing what you doing work now with what you have.
Yeah.
And pushing forward. And we stay focused. Sometimes we can get down. We can get pushed aside.
Yes.
We can be looking towards the next big project.
Yes.
that may come or may not come, but we have everything we need to get stuff done now, especially in today's day and age, especially with the technology, especially with everything. And you just, when you do now, you're prepared for the future. It's like working out. Go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. You're preparing you're preparing yourself for your body to be in fit 6-7 months from now. But if you just focus on being fit 6-7 months from now and not working on your body now, 7 months from now you're gonna be focusing on another 7 months of trying to be fit. So.
Oh, that's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah.
I love how you just put that. That's so perfect. You just broke it down in the perfect way. And I have to say, the reason this came to me was I was finding myself, like I think a lot of people, we find ourselves in a place where I'm so anxious for the next thing. Like I'm so like, I'm like doing this thing because I have some exciting things happening, right? I mean, good things are happening now too, but there's some really great things happening that are coming. And I kept finding myself the last couple months feeling anxious to get to the next thing. And I don't know, I think it was just through my prayer closet and talking to God, it came to me and there was a voice that was just like, Ayo, you need to relax. You need to like focus on this moment. There's big things happening right now too. You have work to do now before you get to there. You need to prepare for what's coming, And that's why this came to me. And then I remember I was like, oh yeah, the power of now, duh. The power is now. What you're doing,
right now.
Right now, right? And everything we do too, just like you said, impacts our future so much. Because, I'm that person who I'm always kind of nervous. I'm like, oh my God, the future, what's going to happen, the unknown. I'm so scared of what I don't know. And I think I was listening to Cindy Trim. I love her. She's amazing. She was talking on this podcast about how we focus so much on the past that we don't focus on the present. We're so obsessed with what's already happened, and our energy should be on our present, what we're doing, because that's what impacts where we're going. That's what impacts our future the most, And I think that's kind of where this came to.
I think we focus on the past so much because in a way it does, but it's ingrained in us that the past affects our future. Even when we were little, you do something, get in trouble, your future is gonna get a butt whooping. So you focused on what you did in the past because you're about to get you about to get spanked, you're about to get punishment. So that's a lot of reasons why we focus on the past a lot. That's because we think it affects our future. And in essence, when you do negative stuff, it does. It does. But when you're working on your purpose and your progress and you're pursuing something, a lot of times what you did in the past is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's what you're doing right now that can affect the future.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like when we're on set and an actor shows up late, or you lose equipment, you lose some equipment, there's nothing you can do. You lose a lens, like, oh, what's the solution? Because we can't focus on the lens we lost. We got to focus on what, can we use a different lens so we can make sure that we're working on what we're working on at that moment. Exactly. Because if we focus on the lens, we'd be, we'd be instead of 2 minutes late, we'd be 10 minutes late. Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
and and I was gonna say the other thing you made me think of too is like all we really have is this moment. Like we just have today. Tomorrow's not promised.
Nope.
We don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring, right? Like focus on right now because this is all you really have is today. You know what I mean? Like that came to me too the other day. I was like, ooh, tomorrow's not promised. I don't know what's coming tomorrow, but I'm gonna focus on where I'm at. I have a gift. The present is a gift. I have this gift of I was able to wake up today and see another day, be sane in the membrane, right? Have everything together, right? Like that's a gift. So that is what I need to focus on every day that I wake up, and making sure I'm doing my purpose, doing what I'm supposed to be doing every single day, and know that my future is bright. My future is gonna be bright because every day I'm focusing on that moment. I'm holding on to it as much as I can, and it'll get me to the next. You know,
focus on the time.
On the time
you have right now.
That you have right now. Exactly. Thank you. Oh, that was good. Right? That was real good. Okay, moving on.
Oh, I was telling Paris the other day. I told her. I said, all we really have is. All we really do in life, when we have in between the now, is the time we wake up and we go to sleep. Yes. That's all that's really, that's all that's really guaranteed unless you don't wake up.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you wake up And it's like, okay, cool. I got an opportunity to wake up.
Yeah.
You go and then you do what you have to do now. Then you go to sleep. And when you're asleep, you're dreaming. All this other stuff is happening that you're not aware of, or you might be aware of. Depending on what your spiritual level is.
Yeah.
But that's all you really have.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with that. And I'm a big on gratitude. So it makes me have more gratitude every day too. Like I stay in gratitude. And because I do that, it allows me to not focus on the sad things going on in my life or the bad or challenging things. It allows me to look at everything with a light. Yeah. And I think that's why everybody's always like, you're always happy. Wow, you're going through that. They never know what I'm going through because I walk around with a smile on my face like, hey, everybody. Life is great. Because life is great. It is. Life is great. Everything, we're blessed. I'm blessed regardless of what I'm going through, but that's the thing is I live in gratitude. I'm always in a posture of gratitude. And I think that's the light that everybody sees is I stay grateful, and I always will. I'll always be grateful, Yeah. So, all right. The next one. This is a good one. I really can't wait to get your opinion on this one. And again, after you tell me your opinion, I'll tell you why I came up with this. Okay. So you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I know we've all heard that before, right? It means that one person will help another in exchange for the other person helping them in return, right? As artists, we're often asked to support each other, buying tickets to shows, plays, showing up for each other, etc. It seems like, especially in LA specifically, some artists are not very good with supporting those who support them. Do you think that this quote should be this, you scratch my back, I scratch yours? Do you think that should be in place for that? And have you ever experienced this?
Do I think it should be in place?
Yeah, and the reason I say that, okay. I'll explain it a little bit more, because a lot of times they say do things, don't expect anything in return. That's why, and they're like, well, you do good deeds and you shouldn't expect anything in return, right? So, which I get, but when it comes to us being artists and we're spending money to buy tickets, we're going to support each other, we're supporting people, but nobody comes to support you back. Is that okay? It's okay. I'm still doing a good deed. Even if you don't come and support me ever, I'll still keep spending money and spending my time to come and support you. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going with this.
Well, I'm going to answer your question, but it's to your good deed. Yeah. I believe no good deed goes unpunished.
I agree.
So,
me too.
And the reason I believe that, I believe a good deed is a heart posture. Okay. So if your heart's not in it, then you don't do it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
Because because then something will happen that you will resent. And that's the punishment.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? So if somebody asks you to, hey, come help me feed the homeless, and your heart's not in it, don't go.
Okay.
Because they may ask you to do extra things. And you're like, I thought I was just here just to do plates. Now I'm, praying for people, or I'm picking up food, and you're doing all these certain things that you didn't really want to do.
You want to do in the first place.
You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
So that's the reason I believe no good deed goes unpunished. Okay. It is if your heart's in it, then that good deed is going to be great. Always do everything with clean hands and a pure heart.
Okay.
Always.
Gotcha. Okay.
The scratch my back.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, it's happened to me before.
Yeah. Okay.
I just you got to have grace for people.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to talk to people.
Yeah.
You got if you're I wouldn't say expecting something, but if you're like, hey, look, this is person I'm looking out. This person should be looking out for me.
Yeah.
If that's presented, then I think you should speak your mind.
Right.
If you still want a relationship, or you should just walk away.
Right. Okay.
But it happens all the time because people are selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're selfish. What is it? Consciously and subconsciously. So that's why you got to have grace sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's just part of navigating Los Angeles. It's part of navigating this industry. People look out for themselves as much as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my take on that. I mean, it's happened a whole lot to me. But, it's probably people who said that I've done it to them.
Yeah, that's true.
But I try to hold myself up to everything I can. But
bingo, me too.
I try to, if I say I'm going to be somewhere, I try to be there.
Yeah, me too.
So
do I.
But Yeah, I think it's hard. I think it's difficult.
Yeah.
You know, because this can be a lonely city.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're so many people. Everybody's doing everything.
Yeah.
You know, and you can, you know, it's as simple as having a party.
Mm-hmm.
You like, I've been to this person production, this, then simple as having a party, and all of a sudden it's like, you know, I want to celebrate with you, and then like people just don't show up.
And they don't show up.
They say I'll be there, and they don't show up.
Yeah.
You know, it's sad. It happens.
Is.
But I think like with anything, if you keep God first, you keep on pursuing what you need to pursue.
That part. He
will make a way. And I got a saying that God will remove anybody out of your life that doesn't help you, that doesn't help your purpose. If you're working with God.
Yeah.
If you're in God, then, you know, if somebody's doing something, he'll make it. He'll make it that way.
Yeah.
He'll make it that way.
Yeah.
You know? And most people who are, you know, allow somebody to offer you something first. You know, before you scratch their back, allow them scratch yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey,
there's something that happened to me that I'll tell you what happened.
Okay.
And then you can tell me if I'm overreacting. Yeah, I want to get your opinion on this. So there's a guy, we're not like close friends. We're good friends. We've known each other. I've been in LA almost 20 years and we knew each other. I met him through a mutual friend. So we used to always kind of support each other and like in a circle or whatever. And he has supported me in the past. Right? He used to support me when I did stuff, but then we lost contact. He's big time. He does a lot of TV shows and, you know, he just produced a play and he does a lot of stuff. And we ran into each other in August, and I hope he's listening to this podcast so he knows I'm talking about him, because I want him to know I'm talking about him. I want him to, because I'm talking about you for real, for a reason. And he did a play, which was phenomenal. The play was awesome. And he told me, you know, yeah, can you, promote it, come support. And I was like, yeah, of course. You know, I'm a playwright. I do plays all the time. I love that you're doing a play. I think it was his first play that he produced, from what I know. And I actually, funny enough, in August, I was planning on going to see the show, but I got so busy and I literally did almost. That's what's so interesting about giving people grace that you just said. I almost forgot about it because I ended up doing a short film. I had a playwright festival. All this stuff just started coming at me around the time that his play opened. So I almost missed it. So I was like, oh man, no, I got to make sure I see that. But he kept texting me. That's why, otherwise I would have missed it. But he kept texting me. He sent me an email. He sent me like 3 or 4 text messages. Like he was consistently like making sure, my play's going well. You know, I really would love your support. Please come through. And I'm not going to lie, I actually didn't really have the money to buy the tickets. It was like $35, almost $40. And I was going through a lot because I was like putting money into my own projects. You know, I had a stage reading I was producing. I was doing all this other stuff around the same time. But I was like, man, no, I told this guy I'm going to support him. I'm going to go. So found a way to get that $35-$40, whatever it was. I showed up. Meanwhile, he knows that I was doing a stage reading the following month that he said he was going to come to. Because we both, when we saw each other, we haven't seen each other in years. And when we connected, he was like, I'm doing a play. And I was like, cool, I'm doing a stage reading. And he's like, yeah, we got to support each other. You know, that how it goes. This thing, I thought of this thing, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, And he didn't come to my stage reading. Dang. Yeah, he didn't show up. I texted him after his play ended. I sent him a text. I was like, oh, here's my, flyer, just like he did to me. But I wasn't going to like keep begging him to come. Like, I was like, I don't need to do that. If you're a good friend, you'll come. Him, on the other hand, he made sure he texted me about at least 4 or 5 times to make sure I showed up. And I did, but he didn't show up to mine. So I guess I'm a little bit hurt that he did that. But at the same time, now listening to what you just said about giving people grace, and that the fact that I almost missed this play because I was busy, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be that upset about it. I should let it slide, whatever. But I just felt a kind of sort of way. And this guy specifically is not the only person that's done this. But I'm thankful enough. I don't have close friends that do this. Yeah. I'm blessed that I have, which is why another reason I have to let this go. I forgive you if you're watching. I forgive you. I have to let it go because I'm so blessed that even with that stage reading, I do have a big village of supporters, people who support me when I do things, and it's wonderful. But there's always that one person that I'll support a lot, like I'll spend money, I'll always come, and they'll never come to anything I do.
Yeah.
And those people, they don't stay in my life for long.
Yeah.
A lot of them are gone out of my life, for the most part, besides this guy that I'm talking about. Most of my friends, they're always supported. And if they can't make it, they'll tell me, I got this going on, and I understand. Like, it's cool. I'm not crazy. Life happens, right?
Was this the first time he did something like this?
No. Actually, it's not. It's the second time. Even though he supported me like back in the 2000s when we were friends and we in the circle.
Okay, so this is
the second time. There was
part
something
of his
else.
Character right now.
Yeah. I would say in the past 6-7 years, and then we lost touch too. We lost touch too. We haven't really been in each other's lives, but I've done a whole lot of stuff because I'm always doing stuff. I did a short film, I did a play, I do stage readings. There's a lot of opportunities for people to support me if they want, especially if I'm supporting everything they're doing. So
yeah, I mean, grace is forgiveness.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So you forgave him.
Yeah, I did.
But fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice,
bingo.
Shame on me. Like he's showing you who he is.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean you can't invite him to anything else.
Oh yeah, of course
it doesn't mean if he reaches out, you don't talk back to him or whatever. But you understand, who he is.
Yeah.
And he should have understood that you were busy as well in the time of his stuff.
Yeah.
If you said, hey, I'm busy, I would love to come to your thing, but I can't guarantee I can make it because I got this.
Right.
We're all in the industry.
And I would understand if somebody told me that.
We understand that.
I wouldn't be mad about that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
But I've been sharing your stuff. I've been pumping it. I've been, that's that. So do I think you overreacted? No.
Okay.
I don't think you overreacted.
Okay.
Like I said, I think grace is forgiveness.
Yeah.
But outside of that,
yeah.
All I can say is, if you decide to work with him, be careful.
Oh yeah. Oh no, we're not gonna work on anything together.
Oh okay.
Yeah. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, because that's that's to me I don't know the person, but that's a character of somebody who's for themselves.
Yeah.
And they'll do whatever they need to do to make sure they're good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Because he should have known, even if you didn't hit him up like he hit you up, he should have known that, okay, Io is not a person that's going to hit me up all the time. So let me just put this in my calendar. And if I can't make it, let me reach out and say I can't make it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But people don't realize how much people are really looking forward for people to come to things,
to what they're doing. I agree.
Yeah. So in the moment, your feelings are justified.
Right.
Okay. It is what it is, we had a wedding and people didn't show up that was supposed to show up. So,
oh wow.
So, those things, people are, so, but that's the truth, like, you don't let it keep on. You get grace is forgiveness, but it don't mean you need to let it slide.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I forgive you, but meaning I'm not gonna let it slide, meaning I'm not gonna do a scratch my back, that situation with that person.
That's where I'm at. Yeah, that's where I'm at with him and anybody else who does this, honestly. Because the truth is, and it's not even to be mean or spiteful, but I actually have a lot going on. Like, I'm busy. I produce my own projects. I spend money on stuff. I cast things. I pay people. I pay for things, and I'm putting money into stuff I'm doing. And then you want me to put money into what you're doing, and I'm spending money on my gas to drive all the way where you're doing what you're doing, right? And I'm doing all this, and you don't show up to anything ever that I do. Like, ever. Like, no, I'm not gonna keep showing up. Just know I'm just not gonna show up. I'm not gonna support you anymore. You know what I mean? So that's what's gonna happen, but it's okay. I'm glad I brought this up. You made me feel better now based on what you said. Thank you so much. But I have to say again, God gives me compassion in that for every one person that doesn't show up, there's like 10 other people that I don't know that show up to things I do. Yeah. That's a blessing that I don't take for granted. Yeah. Like the stage reading that I just did, I couldn't believe I just met, there's a friend of mine, this guy, I hope he's listening too. I hope he listens. Shout out to you. I'm not going to say his name, but shout out to you. He drove 2 hours to see my stage reading.
Wow.
2 hours. And I have friends who live 15 minutes that didn't come. I have a bunch of friends actually that live 15 minutes from the address of where it was.
Next time, invite us to your stage reading.
I will. Yes, I will invite you. Yeah. Absolutely. Yes. And I was like, you drove 2 hours. He's like, yeah, it's not a big deal. I love supporting people. I'm like, to me, it's a big deal because I have friends that live literally down the block that didn't come. you know?
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that. Yeah. And I just met him. We just met when I was doing a film earlier this year, you know? So for me, I'm like, you're going to be VIP on everything I do from now on. If you're going to drive 2 hours to anything I do, I'm going to make sure you have front row seats. I'm going to make sure you get in before everybody else.
Amen.
That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm going to do, you know? So, because I'm that person.
I drive 2 hours too then.
Really? Your wife is like,
we want front row seats. No, we're not going to drive 2 hours. Just tell me I drove 2 hours.
I got you.
Oh, okay.
You will be in front row because you guys are punctual. You're professional. Yes, you're going to get VIP front row seats as well. You know, so, but anyways, yeah, like I'm just an appreciative person. And I notice when people go out of their way to do things for me, I don't take that for granted at all, because I go out of my way for people too. You know, I do things like that. And when people don't return or reciprocate, like, you know, and then again, I'm also a person of character. If he has a show and it's far, you better believe I'm going to drive. I'm going to drive far to go to whatever he's doing. I'm willing to do that too, you know? Because I don't want to be a hypocrite. I want to practice what I preach, right? And actually, and I've been doing that. You know, anytime anybody supports me, I did that too recently. For this guy, he did a horror film, and I don't like horror films much. I don't like to watch horror films, but he came and supported my stage reading, and he invited me to his horror film screening, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll go. I'll come. It was so good. I'm so glad I went. Yeah, it was fantastic. He's an amazing writer. Yeah, it was so good. So I was glad I did that. So, anyways, thank you so much for that. I feel better now. Okay. So moving on. The entertainment industry. Let's talk about this. So, because you've done a lot. You've accomplished a whole lot of stuff. And this entertainment industry is filled with so many ups and downs, from strikes to inconsistency of jobs. How do you stay grounded and keep going? And what advice would you give other artists?
How you stay grounded?
Yeah.
Read your Bible.
Ooh, I like that one.
Worship.
Yes.
Go to church.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those three.
Yeah.
How else? I mean, I don't know. It's difficult to. Outside of that, it's difficult to. I mean, being grounded is kind of a personality trait. So. How do you stay with all like the strikes? And I mean, it honestly, it leads into the quote. It leads into the first question. Yeah. You know, and it leads into the second question. Yeah. It leads into the quote you did, the now, and the scratch my back. Yeah. There was an opportunity for people to work together in strikes and stuff like that. And it was difficult when you're not making no money. Oh yeah. You know, stuff like that. But you reach out to people. People could have worked together. They could have did certain things. You know, when you're working with people, other people have information. So, you know, it's a time when you ain't got no money for rent, but the Los Angeles was paying people's rent. Yeah. You know, for like 3 years. Oh wow, that long? Yeah. Oh. So, you know, I didn't know it was that long. You know, so people were fighting for rent and saying I couldn't do this, I couldn't do that. But in Los Angeles, you didn't know the information, you know, you're in this cocoon, you know, you keeping yourself, you know, locked up, then you're not going to get the information, and you're stressing, it's hard to stay grounded and all this other stuff. So, but that's also like being, like I said, you being tapped in with God, because he's putting the right people around you. You know, one of my friends, he got the information to me. Hey man, you know, Los Angeles is paying rent. Yeah. Okay. Let me figure out how to make sure I can get my rent paid. Exactly. You know, so I can stay here. The other thing is understanding how this industry works. It's like, we got this thing on the wall right here, right? And it's like this up and down thing. And it's like kind of like the stock market and stuff. That's how the industry works. Yeah. You know, sometimes there's going to be years where the stock market is here and it's low, and it's like it's fluctuating. And as it fluctuates, it goes down, you know, and go down like crypto right now. At the time of recording this, crypto's in a bull run. Yeah. And, you know, 2 years ago, Bitcoin went from 70K 60 something thousand all the way down to like 13. Oh my. And now it's up to 101,000. Oh my. You know, and the industry is like that. If you hold strong, if you talk to the right people, you know, if you really want to do this, you hold strong, you fight through that wave of down, and then it's eventually going to go up. Okay. You know, there's it's going to have to, because that's just the way this works, you know. Yeah. Okay. So, you know, that's how it is. It's been like that. They had strikes. You know, I don't know when it was, maybe 2007. I think they had a strike.
Yeah.
Or 8, one of those years.
Yeah. I think, I'm trying to remember when the last one was, but I remember when.
Yeah, but it's been, you know, it's just like the housing market. It's like everything else. You know, people buying, people selling. That's how this world works. You know, it works in waves and ups and downs. It's a roller coaster. Sometimes you go 4 years and nothing's really happening. This time it was COVID, then a strike, then another strike, then a potential strike, you know. Yeah. And then streaming services kind of pushed everything, you know, out the way a little bit, and then AI and all, you know, all these certain things. So, you know, it's just understanding how the industry works.
Exactly.
You know, being resilient.
Yeah.
Focus on yourself.
Yeah. Like
the original quote say, stop worrying about comparing it.
Yeah.
And focus on yourself.
Focus on yourself. Exactly.
You know,
because it's going to happen. There's always going to be something, right? There's always going to be something that's going to, like, life is not perfect. I'm just learning this now at 46. There's always going to be something. The only thing I can control is myself, my attitude, taking care of myself, you know, because, it's rough. You know?
It is.
Yeah.
It ain't easy out here in the streets, but you got to know. You wake up today, you good. You got another day, another now to work on what you need to work on.
Yes. And I love that.
And if you don't wake up today, you like, you ain't gonna know.
Yeah. It's true. No, he's right though. It's true. If you don't wake up, you're right. If you don't wake up, you're not gonna know. It's true.
You ain't gonna know. So it's like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's for the people around you. You die. I mean, you know, God forbid nobody. But you know, but if you die, that's on the people around you. You know what I'm saying? You know, God forbid you don't want that to happen. Right. You know, because you care. But for yourself, you're not gonna know.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, you know, you're gonna wake up in heaven. It'd be like, you probably don't even know you was alive on Earth. You're just gonna be like, what is it?
Where is this? How'd I get here?
You know, eating eggs and bacon and McDonald's French fries with Jesus.
Oh my goodness, you're funny. I thought he was so quiet. I thought your husband was so quiet. He's not? Wow. He's funny. Sometimes he is. Yeah, because you always feel like you're very chill. You got that chill, laid back type of thing.
I am chill.
And you are chill, but you're funny. Once we got you, we get you talking though. You know, you're a good time. All right. I love it. Oh my goodness, I love that. I have to say that I agree with you on the faith part. I'm everything without, like, I don't know what I would be if I don't have God in my life, if I don't go to church. I have an amazing church family. I believe in reading my Bible every day, reading my word, praying and talking to God. You know, when life comes at me and things happen that I don't understand, I take it to the face of God, like, God, Jesus, you know. This is not working out. You're the one who put me in this life. God, you figure it out. Because I don't know what to do here, you know? And it's that surrender sometimes, just letting go and letting God sometimes. Because I'm like, I can't control everything. Things are going to happen that are out of my control. Okay, so what can I control? Oh, I can take care of myself. I can keep my mind right. I can make sure I get enough rest. I can go to the gym. I can read my word, and I can have faith and trust that things are going to work out the way they need to, and they always do. And it always does, you know? So I love that. All right. Awesome. This is good. Yeah, I love it. Thank you. Now, this last one, and then I want to do a rapid fire part really quick. Okay. I was just thinking about this. And this is just a matter of me, again, just thinking about something. And I love that the fact that you're married. How long have you been married?
Since 2021.
2021?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. So
May of 2021.
May of 2021? Yeah. Okay. You're kind of still newlyweds. All right. Congrats. I love it. Okay. So I just wanted to kind of get your opinion on this. Okay. So I was reading this article on emotional intelligence, right? And it said that women tend to score higher than men on the measures of emotional intelligence. But on the other hand, men do better than women when it comes to managing distressing emotions. Do you agree with or disagree with this?
Okay, you gotta explain what emotional intelligence is.
Okay, because actually for me too, I'm not gonna lie, I actually did, because I kept hearing about emotional intelligence all this time. I'm listening to podcasts and watching this. I'm like, what is that? And I actually did look it up and I googled it. It just basically means you have empathy, you're emotionally stable, you don't just kind of go off the wall when something happens, right? So like, relationship, we're having an argument and I start cursing at you, right? I don't have emotional intelligence. intelligence, because I'm not thinking about your emotions and how it's going to feel. But if I have emotional intelligence, I'm like, okay, babe, I understand. You're right. Let's talk about this. Let's be rational. Let's deal with this, right? So you have empathy, you're more rational, and you just don't let your emotions get the best of you. You're laughing?
Okay, now this has nothing to do with her.
Okay.
This has nothing to do with my wife.
Okay.
I'm just laughing. Okay.
Okay, yeah.
That's
so basically,
okay.
yeah. Okay. So basically, this article is saying that women, we score higher than men when it comes to that.
Now, is it a physical test that they did in the article? Or
I don't know. It just said
like men, was it like ABC answers?
Probably ABC or something like that.
Oh yeah, they're gonna score higher on the ABC answers for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
You think so? I think so. It says measures, so I'm like, yeah. You think so?
Yeah.
Okay. But they're saying men, on the other hand, you men can manage distressing. When things are stressful, you can manage stress better than us women, basically.
Yeah. So
that's true.
Yeah, but if you hear what you just said, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of like contradicting each other.
Really?
Yeah, because if we can handle stress better, then we may be a little bit. We may also be. I'm not saying more, but we may also be emotional, like stable or like.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But overall, I think it varies though.
Yeah, I do too.
You know, I think it varies on culture. It varies on culture. How you were raised, age range, Gen Z to millennials to X and everybody else and baby boomers. I think those things vary. I think it varies on how many people were in the household.
Yeah.
How many brothers you had, how many sisters you had, how many, if you had mom and dad.
Yeah.
How long you had mom and dad, who passed away.
I agree.
All these certain things. I think it kind of varies. I think it kind of varies on those certain things. How much money you got in your bank account at the time, are bills due, and can you pay them?
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of things that kind of weigh on it. And I think it depends on who you ask. I think in professional situations, women are definitely a lot more. What is it? Smart? What's the word?
More empathy or less emotional, or is that emotional intelligence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Have
emotional intelligence.
Yeah, definitely outside the home. They have emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Definitely outside the home.
Gotcha.
But you ask any dude about his mom probably was wild in the home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my mom was.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you operate different with people you love too.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So I think men. But I also think outside, I think men can come off a little bit more aggressive. I think a woman has a grace to be a little bit more aggressive than a man.
Okay.
Because he's, a man, he could be, my height, 6 foot, 200 something pounds. And it's like, just the slightest aggression could be taken as over aggression. You know what I'm saying? Where a woman, it might be just a little bit more grace.
Yeah.
In that aspect.
That makes sense.
So, yeah. Men, can they handle stress better? I mean, maybe not.
Depends on the guy.
It depends on the guy.
And
it depends
the situation.
On the situation.
Exactly. Bingo.
I
have to agree with that.
A guy can, like some guys can, we can sit in a room with a bunch of dudes and yell at each other and be cool. And you can't do that, in a room with a bunch of women sometimes.
Yeah.
So, not because you want to, but you just, so yeah, I think it's kind of up for interpretation.
I agree with you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you, because I think a lot of people will be like, no, women are so emotional. We're the ones who are always freaking out about stuff and this and that, versus men are more laid back, more chill, So yeah, I think it does have all of the factors that you're saying too, because I just keep hearing about it every time I listen to a podcast or turn the TV on and somebody's talking. It always comes up, or they talk about a book about relationships, specifically when it's the topic of relationships, the topic of emotional emotional intelligence always comes up, like that's needed in a relationship. You have to know how to like listen to each other and be compassionate, all this stuff. So anyways, I don't know, but it was just on my mind, and I'm glad. And I also brought this up because coming up February 22nd, you guys, I'm having this thing called the Battle of the Sexes competition. And I did this on my YouTube channel during COVID, and my friends loved it. It was a blast. So they wanted me to bring it back. So I said, okay, why don't we do it in person? Yeah. So I'm going to have like a panel of like 2 guys and 2 women answering questions, and the men will be answering questions about the women, and women will be answering questions about men. And then I'll have an audience, and the audience is going to kind of, they get like, you know, I have like a point system. And if the point system, if somebody like disagrees with it, I want them to raise their hand and say, I disagree with that point system, and then explain why, if the point should go to the other team. So I came up with this because I have a lot of experiences. You know, I've been through stuff, dating experiences, and I have stories and things in my head that I just write down and come up with. And when I did that, that's how I did the last one. It brought up some conversation about dating and love and how men think, how women think, emotional intelligence, blah, blah, blah. So that's also why I brought up this topic. So, yeah.
I mean, yeah. That's good.
Yeah, so you guys come to that. I know you guys are married. We need advice from married folks as well. So if you're free, come through. It's a free event. I'll let you know, but it's February 22nd if you're around, if you're in town. You know, it's Valentine's month. So I know it's going to be a busy month, but, you know, I'll keep you posted.
Yeah, keep us posted.
I will, definitely. It'll be a good time. So this is the last part. I just wanted to do this rapid fire thing, and then I wanted you to talk about any projects you have coming up and how people can follow you.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So this rapid fire part, it's just, I'm going to give you 2 things, and I just want you to pick one. This might be hard because you might like both, but you still got to pick one. Okay. So the first one is, if you could only have one type of food, would you prefer pizza or a burger? See, I told you it's hard.
I probably pizza.
Pizza is good. Yeah. That's what I would pick too.
Yeah, I pick pizza because I can make a pizza burger.
Exactly.
Yeah, so if I want a burger, I could just put the toppings that's on the burger on the pizza. So.
Yes, and there's so many ways to eat pizza. There's so many ways to eat pizza. Yeah, burger. It
could be healthy. It could be not healthy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, so pizza.
Pizza is so much more options, right? I have to agree with you on that. Yes, I agree.
Pizza is like it's shaped like a triangle for a reason.
Yes.
You got all the periodic. Whatever, what's the thing called? You know, the thing with this is called a periodic table, the nutritional thing. They got all that in one slice.
Yes, I agree. You know, yes, I gotta agree with you.
Yep.
Good stuff. I like how you came up with that. Very good. Okay. Second one. Would you rather climb a mountain or indulge in your favorite dessert?
Climb a mountain.
I knew you were gonna say that.
100%.
I knew you were gonna say that.
There's no satisfaction. You ever climbed a Burbank mountain? There's no satisfaction like getting to the top of that mountain. I
want to ask your wife, Paris, if you had to pick between those two, I'm just curious. Would you pick climb a mountain or indulge in your favorite dessert? I'm just curious. I would climb. You would climb a mountain too? Really? You guys are cool. Oh my goodness. You guys are good. Because I said most people say climb a mountain. I said, no, I want the dessert.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like climbing it's you against the mountain.
Yeah.
And the only thing that's going to stop you from getting to the top most of the time is you.
Yeah, I agree. That's so good.
And when you get to the top, you ever climbed Burbank Mountain and got to the top?
No.
Oh my God, it's so
That's
satisfying.
why. You see, I need to do that. And I'm so embarrassed to say this, but I've lived in LA almost 20 years. I've never been hiking out here.
Oh, wow.
I know it's bad. I know. Because the few times I've been asked, I'm always doing something. I'm busy. And then once or twice, a guy that I was dating asked me, and then it didn't happen because it rained. Something always happens. But I've been hiking like in New York. I'm from New York. I've been hiking with my church, a few years back, but just not here. So I do need to try that. But I'm laughing because my last guest I had, my girl Sonic, we both said dessert. And she said, I'm feeling kind of sort of. I was like, I'm hungry.
Yeah,
I said, I don't know how much time I have left.
If I got to go back down, I'll have the dessert.
Then you'll have the dessert afterwards. Why not? There you go. Yeah. Anyways, okay, moving on. I love it. Next one is, would you rather read the book or see the movie? If you had to pick one. See the movie?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah? Interesting.
I'm not a book reader.
Yeah? No. You're not big on books? No. Okay. Yeah, I'm a little bit like this. I love reading books. Books have changed me, but I have a problem being consistent with reading because it's hard to stay focused. I get distracted easily. So, yeah, I do mostly audiobooks where it just talks to me. Yeah, I have to agree with that. Okay. Do you prefer texting or calling? Calling, me too.
Yeah.
I like to hear people's voices.
Yeah, me too. Texting can sometimes you can misunderstand.
Yes.
Text message
yes.
especially if you're not in a good mood.
Yeah.
Or you could be like, they're rude and they jolly texting you.
Yeah.
And you be like, all right. All right.
Yeah.
And you call him, he's like, hey, what's up? He's like, yeah, you just text me, all right. Yeah, I was just texting you, all right. Like, and they in a whole nother world.
They're in another world, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but nobody, people want you to text them nowadays.
Yeah, I know. I need to hear people's voice. If it's like a quick message, I don't mind. But people be having a conversation through texting. That's my problem. Like, oh my goodness, we could have had a 1-2 minute conversation with all this texting. Like, it's too much.
I prefer emails over text messages.
Actually, so do I. Crazy. I prefer emails too. Yeah, I prefer emails. Yeah. Next one. Would you prefer a beach vacation or a mountain retreat?
Oh, the beach. The
beach?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Skydiving or bungee jumping? Neither. Neither.
Well, I've been skydiving before.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Did you not like it?
I mean, it was good until they opened the parachute.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like you get on the plane, it's cool. You go up the plane, it's cool.
Yeah.
They open the door, you're like, oh, it's cool. You jump out the plane, you're like, oh, snap. It's not scary. When the parachute opens and you're hanging from somebody and you're, still, 300-400 yards in the air, 2,000, 3,000 feet up, and you're just floating down, and then your mind is like, what if like this parachute just snaps?
Just snap, yeah.
and you're just, probably like the second or third time you don't think about that stuff, but for me, it was the first time I did it, the first and only time I did it. Wow. When the parachute opened, it was like, it just until you get close to the ground. Once you get about 100, 200 feet off the ground, you're like, oh, okay, this is cool.
Okay.
Okay. You start to soak it in. But for me, it was like,
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to try skydiving.
And the other thing was, I don't know if every skydiver does this, but I think it depends on how the size you are.
Okay.
They have these straps and they strap you to the straps.
Oh.
And when they strap you to the straps, when they open the parachute, they have to de-strap you, and you're still strapped to them, but it's so when you land, you're lower than them. Oh. So sometimes I think if you're too tall, they have to de-strap you, so you kind of like fall like maybe 4 inches.
Really?
Off of them.
I heard you also have to like land like this.
Yeah, you got to.
Otherwise, you'll flip.
You got to put your feet up because you can break your leg up. Yeah, you could break your leg. So you pretty much just land on your butt. But it's in grass. You don't feel it. It doesn't hurt at all. It's literally like it's probably like it's like sliding on a slide.
Really?
But I forgot that happened, and he de-strapped me to go down a level, and I felt myself fall, and I reached up and grabbed him as I was falling like to just a few inches, and when we landed, he was like, that was the fastest reaction I've ever had anybody
Are
have.
you serious?
Yes, he said you reached up so fast. If you were unstrapped, you would have never fell. You would have held on to me. He was like, that was the fastest reaction he had. Like, he said, most people don't even notice the drop down when they do it. He's like, I can't believe you noticed that. I was like, heck yeah, I noticed that.
Wow.
Like, I'm not trying to,
that's
a long way down.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that's an experience.
Yeah. So
okay. Well, all right.
But if I had to choose, I would parachute. That's what it's called.
Yeah, I said skydiving or bungee jumping. So that was skydiving. Yeah, I would never do bungee jumping. It's too dangerous. There's no way. I would pick skydiving as well. Okay, I just wanted to ask you one last question from inside the actor studio. I don't know if you ever watched this show with James Limpton. He used to ask all these questions with actors. So I just want to ask you one thing. When you get to heaven and you reach the pearly gates, what would you want God to say to you?
Welcome.
That's it.
That's it. I don't need nothing else.
I love that. I love that. Else. Really?
That's it.
Oh, I love that. And the way you just said that.
Everything I did, we could leave it here.
Yeah. Oh my God. Ooh, you just gave me chills for a second when you did that. He just said, welcome. That's it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. I love that. That's awesome. Yeah. I love that. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're done. Thank you so much for being here. This was so great. Thank you for being here, love.
Awesome. Thank
you. I wanted to, so that in case people want to follow you, and also if you have any projects coming up, let us know about it, and also know if you have like Instagram that people can follow everything you're doing on.
So working on we're working on a web series.
Okay.
So that's what we're working on now. I'm also writing a film. that will be going into production. Don't want to talk too much about the film.
That's okay.
The web series is pretty much done. It's working on it with Paris with my wife.
Nice.
She's gonna be the star, so we're gonna do that. It's gonna be five episodes. Ooh. About 5 to 6 minutes episodes. So we're gonna put that out.
Okay.
I just got a manager, so that's good.
Okay. All right.
Then outside of that, people can find me on. They can by my name, ABAI Peace. So if you put it on the screen, it's just on all platforms. I don't think I have a Twitter. I might, but I don't use it.
Okay.
I'm not really active on Twitter or Facebook that much.
Okay.
Hopefully, like now that I'm off major projects, I'm working on a lot of my independent stuff, which is the film and the social and the web series. That will be I'll be posting a lot more to that. So it's just ABAI Peace.
Okay.
You can find me as ABAI Peace on TikTok, but I believe it's Peace the Director.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you put in ABAI Peace, I'll still come up.
You'll still come up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my website is also abaipeace.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes, ABAI and then peace. Like,
that's easy to remember. Well, thank you so much for being here. This is a blessing. You're very welcome. I'm going to have you come back. Will you come back for another one? Yeah. I'm going to invite you again in the future.
Okay, I'm down.
All right, y'all. So that concludes today's episode of the Girl from Schenectady podcast. You guys, please like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends about this. Comment if you like what you're seeing. And this is going to be the last episode for this year. So I'll see you guys in 2025. Stay strong, stay up, stay positive. Smooches.
Deuces.